Hello, welcome to another vintage fan video. As you can see, I have caved and bought another fan. How could you resist its charms? This is a 1960 or 61-ish Lakewood box fan, badged Homemark quality fans. Nice little ranch home there, which was the style at the time. It is a front plastic grate diffuser, not broken. If we look around, we see that it's in complete shape, at least as far as my eyes can tell. I haven't cleaned it yet. It is does not have the Continental kit or whatever they call that penthouse bar thing. It just has a knob. We have in and out. It's a multi-directional. Reversible, as you'd call it, with a plastic handle. We're using a little paint here, but the fan doesn't have a lot of rust on it. The switch is interesting. It kind of snaps, which is different than the later Lakewoods would have as far as a feel. It's got the 4 rivet metal blades. Now hold on a second, we'll turn it around. Now look, we can look here. We do see that we have the exported tube fill motor. This is again reversible. There's a little controversy within the fan community whether these motors are safe to run. Some people say that the reversible version, which this is called, they call it the fireball motor because they blow up. I have 2 that I got at the end of last summer. They're not reversible, but they seem to run nice. So we'll see. Somebody told me that that's just the ones from the 70s. These earlier ones from the 60s are made better. Who knows? This is an antique fan, so you wouldn't run it unattended anyway. You would always run this while you were in the room with it. It is on what I think is pretty rare, the stand, and this stand is actually made by Lakewood. There's actually a sticker underneath, which when we do a cleanup and a full overview on this fan, I'll show you that. There's a little UL badge, and there is a model sticker, although I haven't really been able to get much information. Model number PRXC-20. So it's an X20 or a P20 in the C for the country home or whatever they call it. Now, it's the first time I've been able to see that. So there you go. So it does have the sticker. Now, let's focus again. So this fan was Craigslist find, about an hour and a half away from me, but he wanted $15 for it, which I couldn't pass up. Took me a couple days to get out there. He's an older dude, so he didn't have a modern phone or anything, so he was a little slow to communicate as well. It all worked out for me to be able to get there. When I finally talked to him, hung up, said, okay, I'll be there Monday, and he called me back. He said, do you buy fans, or are you a fan collector? And I said, I don't know, a little bit. He's like, well, I have 2 Vornados, and if you want, you can look at them. And I said, yeah, I'd love to look at them, man. We'll see what kind of condition they're in. I've seen a few of these in person, but I've never had the opportunity to buy one. I've never been able to inspect them closely. But let's, you're not going to believe this. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have 2 Vornados. Now, I'm not an expert on these. I like them. They are cool. Let's take a quick look, and then once when we can, we'll get a closer overview. This does not do justice to how big this fan is. I can't. The video is not doing it. This is a regular size card table. I mean, that's a box fan. Okay, let's do that. This is what I'm talking. See how big that fan is? Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Now, the earliest Vornados are a little bit of a different shape. Like this. This is a different shape. The roundness of this one makes me think it's a little older. This is a smaller one. This has a 1, 2, 3 speeds. Also, a 1, 2, 3 speeds. This has a decal. So other than that, I don't know much about them. They both ran, and he made me. We came to a fair deal, and I paid 80 for all three fans. So you could say, 40, 30, 10. You could say whatever you want. I don't know. They run. This one's been repainted. We'll take a look at that in a second. Not well, I mind you. But they both ran. I couldn't. Where do you see them? Up where I live, you don't see this. And he just wanted them to move. He's kind of a picker guy. He knew what they were. He knew they were cool, and he seemed to appreciate that I appreciated them. And so stay tuned. We're going to take a quick look at each fan. So here's the smaller, the first of the two Vornados. I say Vornado, and I've seen ad copy, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was ad copy for these that said it's pronounced that way. So this is as he described. He said original paint, but it's got some rust, and really what it has is just got some surface rust. It's not that bad. I think the paint's a little light in places. Paint's been ground off a little here for some reason. It was resting somewhere or something. But it is in pretty nice shape. It's got the knob is intact. I think these run on a speed coil. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. There's the Vornado named base. The badge is fairly decently intact. This is the riveted plastic blades. The motor has two oil ports, one in the back and one up front there. And it all looks pretty good. This might have been repainted here. Hopefully not, but it might be the same paint as that one. So maybe this part of this was repainted and then the rest of this is the original color. That's kind of what that looks like to me. Let's see if there's a sticker on it. So underneath here we have our wires and our speed coil, obviously. This is the original paint color. It has the 4 feet on it. And here's our sticker, Vornado, OA Sutton rather. Model B28C1. B50 is the serial number, whatever. 110 watts, there you go. 110 volts rather, 1.5 amps. That's what you're looking to see on these. Alright, we're going to go ahead and run it. It's got what could be the original cord, but it's got a replacement end on it, which you would see commonly with old fans, because the molded ends didn't make it, out. Didn't always make. Maybe these were sold like this, but I doubt it. I think these were replacement plugs that you could get at any hardware store or whatever. Devotion, whatever. So, but it works, and plug him in, and we'll go to the first speed. So that's high. This is medium. This fan runs pretty slow. This probably needs to be oiled, and we'll see. There's low. It's probably too slow for low. It moves air still, but so that might not be running exactly how we want it to. Go back to high. A little bit of a hum to the motor. A little bit. Hope you're not getting too much wind air. You might be. And there's the spin down. A little fast for how we like, but I would never own one of these, so I don't know how they're supposed to run anyway. It doesn't feel really bad. So that's just the way it is. So there you go. There's the first one. Let's take a look at the Peanut. Really difficult to give you an idea how big this fan is. I don't know, there's a medium iced coffee, that's what the power strip looks like next to this thing. It's the size of that fridge. I mean, Jesus. It is really a big fan. So the helicopter's gone now. So I don't know, again, much about these. The other one had a metal hub with the plastic blades riveted on. This one has those plastic blades with the little cap on the end there. They look awesome. I love the way these look. It has a big black motor inside there, Also with oiling tubes. I believe it's got a motor cover. Now, as you can see, this was repainted. You can see that it was done by hand. So this gray paint is everywhere. This could be the original finish, and as you can see, the badge looks all right. Down here on the base, that's probably the original color. You can, when you pull back, you can see the difference between the two. Sorry, it's a telephone. You know, you do get the best movie you can, right? It's just a telephone. But I think this, that's green because it's got some dust on it there, and so that's really the original color. There's a decal here for the on-off 1, 2, 3. The knob is intact. It still needs some cleanup here, as you can see, and it would be great to repaint it so it's more the correct color. This almost looks like primer. It kind of looks like a rat rod. Part of me wants to get like a skull with little red LEDs for the center, and you know, like a, I don't know, whatever. Rat rod Vornado. You could do it. Me, I just go with the regular gunmetal gray it's supposed to be, or whatever. So let's turn around. I'm still laughing out loud at the size of this fan. It's unbelievable how big it is. In the back here, you can see where it's been painted over and paint's peeling out, peeling off, whatever. They were careful not to paint over the badge that much, so the badge is here. It's hard to show you with the light, but it says, hold on. All right, we've got a model A12D1. That's hard to see, and it's hard for me to show you in the light. But it does have the OA Sutton sticker badge. And we'll go ahead and run this one for you. It's the same. Now that is like a greenish color. This could have been painted more than once. What do you think? Maybe this was green like the other one was. So we've got that green paint underneath. Very similar to that. So it's possible this has been painted more than once. I think I guarantee that it was. So we have all 5 of these feet, although some of them are kind of low. That's not really hitting there, so it wouldn't be that helpful. So something should be done about the feet. And then we've got the switch, knob switch, and the speed coil. Same deal on the cord for this one. We have a black plastic cord with a end you know, plug on it. So again, this might have been restored once or twice, or restored once and then crappily repainted again. Who knows? It's an old fan. You know, the Emerson that I picked up, if you haven't seen the video to that, check it out. But the Emerson that I picked up, underneath where the switch and everything is, doesn't seem to be original. It all looks kind of modern, and it's possible that there were kits that you could buy to restore these fans, especially something like an antique Emerson. You know, even in the 50s and 60s, that was something you would restore and put in a candy shop or something. So it'll be interesting to see with that once we, you know, if we ever get that to someone who can do the work on it, because that's a little out of my scope, that Emerson, by far. Know thyself, know what you can do. Don't f up your one-of-a-kind Emerson fan. That's the rule of the house there. So anyway, let's run this thing. Fan's almost too big to get in the picture. And like the other one, it will start, I believe, on high. This one runs right up to speed. Pretty quiet, sounds nice. There's medium. Pretty nice. Hope you're not getting too much air. There's low. Not a huge difference between medium and low. But we're not splitting hairs here. Back to high. Gotta watch that knob a little bit. Ooh, it's nice. A little bit of a sound, but you know. So there you go. Not a terrible spin down, not a great one, but at least those blades are intact, right? Badge looks good. So I think this is the original finish. There's some denting. The inner part of this housing, the metal, corrugated metal thing, is a little messed up in the back, which I hadn't noticed yet. you know, it's new to me. They're all new to me, so they haven't. I don't know what's really that wrong with them yet. That's what you figure out as you go, right? But this is cool. It's terrifying with the plastic blades. I'd be really afraid I was going to break something. But we'll clean it up anyway and hold on to it and see what's next for this fan. Like, it's huge. It's unbelievable, the size of this thing. I've never seen one like that in person. So yeah, pretty wild. The internet doesn't do a job when you're looking at these things on your computer screen. It doesn't really do it justice. It's incredible, and I was hoping for an opportunity to buy something like this, and so there it is. Pretty cool. I couldn't pass it up. Worth the drive. Big giant Vornado. Let's run the box fan. All right, now we'll try and video the Hallmark Lakewood running without an airplane flying overhead, which today seems to be difficult. We're going to go out, which is towards us, on high. It's just a high-low. Very nice. It's got all 4 feet on the bottom, not that they were ever used. There's no rust underneath or in the bottom housing because it was never on the floor. Seems to run real nice, so, you know, hasn't really heated up, but nonetheless, you know, for a first glance, it seems to run nice. That's low, not a huge difference. And then we'll spin it down and we'll go the other direction. It spins for a long time, just gonna warn you. If I can do if another airplane comes over. But yeah, it spins for a long time. I was taught not to reverse it while it's still spinning. It doesn't matter that much, you don't want it to heat up, but it's not a huge deal. It's not a mechanical system. It's not like you're driving your car and you're dumping it into reverse on the highway and blowing your transmission. It's a little different than that. But what you're trying to avoid is the motor heating up over more than it should, and when the blades aren't moving, they're not cooling the motor. But it would only be for a second, for example. Pretty powerful motor, so it'd turn around right away. So there you go, and that's drawing air in this way and pushing it out. There's low, again, not that different. On this side of the fan, the blade noise is a little louder because it's, you know, just the nature of it. You're hearing more of the blade noise because the wind coming from the fan is not diffusing the sound waves. Does that make sense? That's what's happening. And now we'll go back to high, on reverse, and we'll do a spin down, all the way to high. It's a very large motor in this fan. The basic blade hub doesn't cover over the whole thing, which I thought was an interesting look. Yeah, it's a huge motor. Maybe it's not that much bigger than the One Direction of these GE Export, but that's what it is. So these all need to be cleaned up and oiled, you know. This stand has a problem. It's got both the nubs on the static end. It's got both wheels. Both wheels are in good condition. There's actually a sticker underneath that says Lakewood Manufacturing, and there's a model number. I'll show you that when I show you everything else. We start to clean this up. The problem this has is that it doesn't go up and down. This knob stops moving on this side, so it's going to be a challenge to not break the knobs in order to get all that apart. You know, we'll see what happens, but it seems to have the original cord, runs real nice and quiet. So it's a pretty cool, damn cool box fan. I've never been a huge fan of the Diffuser great fans, but they're growing on me. And if you're hearing any of this, then the video came out good, but it's a little windy. I might have to reshoot all of this. We'll see. But I wanted to show you these, and real excited to have grabbed them up. They're pretty darn cool. So thanks for watching. Enjoy.